So the transfer new window has 2 days left in it before it has itself a mini break. So I thought, why not go through all the transfer rumors with you guys, get your thoughts in it, and are we going to buy anyone? Welcome to the live transfer show. Evening, everybody. I hope you're doing well and hope you've had a good weekend. And welcome to the live transfer show. Hope you guys are doing well. And yeah, ignore the background. Under construction. Oh, if anyone's got any suggestions for some background crap, let me know. That is under construction, right? The setup ain't done yet. The setup ain't done, bro. Chill. We're getting there, right? Hope you guys are doing well. How is everyone's weekend going? And I got a big up to Michael with the coffee. My guy, thank you so much for putting the coffee in. Appreciate it. And big up to Granddad Steve as well, becoming a Patreon member. Tomorrow on Patreon, we've got a Cuiabano video with the latest news on him because some weird stuff going on there. Just all right. Should I just turn the camera off, Ellie? Should I just turn it off, right? It's either this or nothing. It's under construction. I knew I'd go live and you lot would be more interested in the freaking setup than what's going on in the world of Forest. Shout out to Dino with the gifted membership. Big up to you, Dino. That's gone to you, Tommy. Make sure you show Dean some love. Greg saying, no, Wolvie, I don't want to see Elanga next season against us in a Newcastle shirt. Right, we'll talk about Elanga. I'll give you the update. Yeah, man, after what I've spent on this room, bro, I'm skinned, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. You like the background? Thank you. They're not connected, bro. Oh, crap. Right, I'm not going to do that again. Right, Let's just leave this, right? I was having a very spiritual experience until you notified me with this setup. All right. Just let's leave the setup alone or I'm going to turn the camera off, right? I'm turning the camera off. Evening, Walker, how you doing, bro? Chelsea handing out 7-year contracts. FFS guessing that's due to PSR. That doesn't really impact it because they can only put it down as 5-year ones, but I hear what you're saying. They're crazy. Evening, Carol. Hope you're well. You go with red. Problem with red, bro, right? I'll put red on. Red is just a bit too... All right, you know what? It's not too bad. We'll keep it forest colors for now, right? We're gonna need a bigger room. Yeah, we are. I mean, this does go a lot further back. I think that's just the corner, and then there's another. Anyway, it'll get sorted this week. How you doing, Vic? Hope you're well. Yeah. Hi, Sean. Take 50 million for Elanga, says 1865. He's hot. He's cold. I do tend to agree. We need the forest back, bro. It will still be there. It will still be there. Yeah, it's a bit Amsterdam settings, isn't it? It is. I got this big ass umbrella thing coming tomorrow. It's gonna be a full-on YouTube studio sometime this week, I hope. So if you want to help with the studio, you can grab me a coffee. If you want to check out the exclusive video coming out tomorrow for Cuiabano, that'll be on Patreon. New house, Wolfie. Tell me, boy, man. I moved in. When did I move in here? 2010 or something? I ain't ever moving again. We will talk about Nico Gonzalez as well. Yeah, I don't know why Marinakis had sought out Brighton. I don't know why I do that. Evening, Ez, man. Hope you're well. Eid Mubarak to anyone who's celebrating as well. What are you saying here? You redesigned the room, Wolfie, and Elanga can't go. Look what we shaped him into in one season. I'm redesigning. Under construction. All right. So what I want to talk to you guys about, A lot of it is going to be like the rumors that are going around. A lot of them I don't think is substantiated. I'll give you the latest on Elanga. There's stuff on Nico Gonzalez, which I'm not really buying. We've got, what was the other updates I wanted to talk to you about? I forgot them now. There's quite a few. There's quite a few to get our teeth into. Elanga not on the top of my list to move on. He wants to stay 100%. Well, there has been some developments in what he said. Can't sell Elanga. Surely he was as good as Gibbs-White with set pieces and assists. Bro, that's not hard, is it? That's not hard. You know what, Jamie? Would you put it past the Greek father to do his thing? Has Igor signed? Yes. Right. Just for you guys. Okay. I'll tell you now. Right. Igor Jesus has signed the contract with Forest. He signed it last Wednesday. I can officially confirm that to you, exclusive to you guys. He signed wet ink on dry paper, and then dry ink. He signed. He is a Red. The other two, I don't know as much about. I think Jair will be a Forest player, and I think Cuiabano, that's a whole other story. So what? Give him 500 a week. Marinakis is rich, isn't it? Marinakis is rich. So that's the Igor Jesus. Now, he's also changing his story, by the way, too. He's always dreamed of coming to Forest, to the Premier League, to Europe. So he's starting to do the PR stuff, which is fine. He needs to do that, doesn't he? Ant doesn't like Jesus. Yeah, you know what? Ant did depress me a little bit. But he did have a point as well. I've moved house 5 times in 10 years due to my dad's job, and we're gonna have to move again the next year. I hate moving house. Forest hasn't announced Igor yet. I know they won't announce him probably until after the Club World Cup, out of respect to Botafogo. But I can announce it, so I've announced it for you. I wouldn't announce it if I weren't certain on it, right? And you'll probably see why, hopefully this week. My boy, Matt, what you saying, Matt? Big up to you, Matt. Thank you for all your help, as always. Take Elanga's pace out of the team, we would suffer badly. All right, but you lot were all saying this when Jono went, right? You lot were all talking. Let's get into the Elanga stuff. Right? So Elanga is not looking to leave Forest. Yeah, Yilmaz is really good. He is really good. Elanga's not gone to Nuno and said, Nuno, I hate you. I hate Nottingham. I hate the training facility. I hate the fans. I hate this. I hate that. Nothing like that, man. Elanga is more than happy at Forest. In fact, for Elanga, he sees Forest as a place that he's found a home in. Like at Man U, yeah, he was one of their academy players and what have you, but he never really got to get into the limelight the way he has done in Forest. So he's not looking to move. Now, just because a player isn't looking to move doesn't mean a move can't happen, because if the club were to come to a bit like Brennan Johnson, this is very similar to Brennan Johnson, right? Brennan Johnson was not actively looking to leave Forest. He wasn't against moving away from Forest. If you remember back a couple of years when we were doing the whole Jono transfer window, but he wasn't actively seeking the move. Jono had to move to try and help us with PSR. Now, the situation is different in terms of the club's finances. We have no issues whatsoever with PSR. Forest can spend big. I know Rafa over on Talking Reds, big up to Rafa, very knowledgeable, very good with his numbers. He's saying that, you know, there'll need to be a bit of kind of moving and shaking going on. Of course, that's how it works with any club. But Forest are not having to race to beat the buzzer. We're fine on PSR. Okay. So with this Elanga thing, if this Elanga thing is going to happen, it would be because Newcastle come in with a bid that Forest would deem to be over the expected valuation that they have on him. Okay. Elanga is replaceable. Every player on that team is replaceable. Okay. Like, I remember when we lost Andy Reid. I used to love Andy Reid. Fun fact, he was the first player I ever met. That was an embarrassing meeting, by the way. Bit starstruck back in my youth. But, you know, I was like, will we ever replace Andy Reid? And, you know, eventually we did. I've spoken to a Galatasaray fan, and he says Yilmaz is an excellent player. He's ready for the Premier League. Yilmaz is going to move. Wolfie, would be a hilarious match day comes with Yilmaz and, oh man, Yildiz in the team. Yilmaz to Yildiz. Yeah, that'd be fun. Now, before I show you the latest article that's come out on what Elanga said, such a clickbait article, by the way. This is important from what Ezra said here. We have to be more 65 million. Now, true. I met Reid. I was 18, so I met him 4 years ago. It was a harrowing experience. Actually, no, Ez, we met Reid, didn't we, at that cinema event? Yeah. He signed Crypto's shirt. I don't know if Crypto's in the chat. He signed him. And then I was still starstruck by him, by the way, because he's like officially the first ever Forest player I met as a kid or in my youth. And stupidly, I did an Esmo and told him, oh man, I met you outside the cinema in town. And like, it was after the Sheffield United playoff. And in my head, I was so mad at you. Well, not you, but the team. But I said, well played. Anyway, it's a whole other story. 65, lay off the glue, fella. All right, you know what, right? Like, I met up with the guys from 12 Man Podcast on Friday night. My first night out in like 3 years, man. And it was good fun. Lawless is a sore loser. Pete is just the nicest guy on the planet. So's Potts, to be honest, they all were. Dan United, if it wasn't for the team he supported, he'd be a lovely guy as well. All the boys there, Errol was there, Hooks was there, George was there. We had some good fun. But me and Pete, we got talking about this. Now, Pete is adamant that his price tag on Elanga is about 35 million. I said to him, I agree he's not a 50 million pound player, but that's the going rate. Because Jono went for 48 million. He was less Prem proven, if you like, than Elanga is. Elanga's GA this year is better than Jono's when he was at Forest. If I'm not mistaken, I think Elanga's 18 this season. And what was I going to say? Yeah, so that was the going rate then, right? So, one sec. So 50 million isn't really out of the question. And I said to him as well, I said, didn't you pick up Flash Gordon for about that much from Everton? I think they paid 45 million from him. Prices have gone up since then. So I don't think 50 million is the thing here. The issue for me is the 20% that Man United have got. So if we sold him for 50 million, let's ignore PSR and amortization for a second, right? Then we would have to give from that 50 million, basically 10 million to Manchester United. So that would leave us with 40 million. So that's the thing. Yo, my guy Curtis, man of his words, man of his word. Can we get some hearts on Curtis's super chat? I am here to keep my word from never a foul. For my winnings betting on the UCL final. I hate your obvious Yates agenda, and the blatant disdain you have for him is constant and annoying. I think he's not a starter. Anyway, keep doing what you're doing, and I will be here to support you. Come on, you Reds. Big up to you, Curtis. I don't think I've said anything untoward about Yates. I agree with you. I don't think he's a first-team starter. I just think he's our weakest midfielder and potentially our most profitable one. That's kind of my stance on him. So I would rather sell him than sell Danilo. But you are a man of your word. Yo, Curtis, how much did you win? Because Cass told me you won nearly like 10 grand, man. So big up to you, man, Curtis. And this is what I love, is that me and Curtis don't agree on a lot of stuff, but we can still debate it and we can still have a conversation about these. And that's what the channel's designed for. Don't agree with me, do agree with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Let's just have a football discussion. You won 9,000 to... What was your bet, man, to get... I was like, Cass told me, I was like, no way did he win that much, man. That's crazy, man. Big up to you, Curtis. Much love. Sales to UK clubs attract VAT, which would have to pay... we would have to pay on a player's sale. Says, look at Chuck again, all technical, man. I need to get you and Kieran Maguire in a room. PSG would win by 3+ goals. What were the odds on that? And how much did you put down, man? So, yeah, look, Semenya. Okay, this is a really good example. By the way, Paul McGregor. Paul McGregor was one of my favorite players as a kid because he played the guitar. Loved him. Number 20, absolute legend. But Semenya is worth 50 million. And I think, and I haven't seen the stats, but I would say that his output has been higher. Elanga's GA has been higher than Semenya's. Can someone check it for me? My gut feeling says that. But Bournemouth have about a 50 million price tag on Semenya. Big up to you, Wes, as well, with the £2. Thank you so much, Wes, bro. Appreciate the donation. That was a super sticker. So anyway, back to Elanga. So where did we get to before Curtis blew my mind, man? Big up to you, Curtis. Is the bottle on the left with your happy... Oh, you guys can see stuff on the desk now. Okay, yeah. Cheers to you all. Yeah, the bottle is not in good nick, guys. I'm not gonna lie, it's peeling off. It's bottling it, a bit like the end of our season. Okay, so this message here, right? Newcastle only willing to pay 40 million plus 5 add-on for Elanga, multi-reports, else we walk away. The thing with this narrative, and I'm hearing this a lot from the Geordies, right, is that you offered 40+ million for him last August, okay? And despite my... Look, I don't think Elanga is the greatest... How can his GA be 9.98? It's not deadly accurate. He scored 0.98 of a goal. So if you paid 40 million, if you offered, let's just call it 40 million for him. Matt, don't give me, just give me straight like GA, man. Don't start giving me field tilt on all this stuff. Oh, man, you know what I forgot to do? Sorry, this is disgusting, but I need to do my hay fever stuff. Yo, Will, stop spamming, man. What are you even writing? Dear Forest, writing this, the heaviest tile one that feels like it feels just... All right, stop spamming, man. He has the best GI of the wingers in the league. There you go. That's all I wanted. 16 and 17. There you go. So Elanga's worth more. So anyway, the point is, well, some say 50, some say 40, right? Let's split the difference and call it 45. For Forest to ask for only 5 million more than what you potentially bid on or matched last season, I don't think it's out of the world. I really don't. And I'm not even convinced they would accept 50. You bet 100 quid and the odds were plus 9,300. So total 9,400. Paid on tax and up front. So the tax is left out. Yo, big up to you, man. That's a good win. That's a good win, bro. All right, look at Matt going with his sofa score stuff. Oh, the expected. Yeah, I don't want expected, Matt. I want actual. I wanted actual. Anyway, I want to get to this article, right? So it's so clickbaity. I could learn a thing or two from it. Anyway, so I don't think it's outside the realms of possibility that 50 million is even like low. I think it's low. I don't, and let me say again, I don't think he's a 50 million pound winger. But I don't actually think there's many wingers that are that world class, right? As in 18 GA for a player who I think is one of the best right wingers in the league when he's in his purple patches. I don't think it's too bad. I don't think it's too bad. It's under construction, bro. Under construction. So it will all be done hopefully by the end of this week. Okay, so let's get into the article. By the way, quick reminder, guys. Quick reminder. If you haven't hit the like button, take a quick second. Make sure you've hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. We're on 116 likes. How many we even got in the house tonight? 700 already in here. Big up to you guys. Do hit the like. Make sure you subscribe. Let's talk about the lack of great goal scorers in the football world right now. There is a shortage. There's a lot of shortage on the left wing as well. Okay, so let's get started because there's loads of rumors I want to get into. Bro, Kev, what are you lot doing here, man? Kev, with £100 super chat. Elanga been inconsistent this season. We could do better for 40 million. I tend to agree. Not on the 40 million price tag, but the inconsistency. But I think he's blown very hot, and then I think he's been average. I don't think he's actually been bad at all this season. I think he's either been hugely influential. The Villa game at home stands out to me. That little area where the Villa game and those ones around it, he went through a real purple patch there. And that's the thing with Elanga. When we bought him, I remember speaking to Nick, I remember speaking to Flex, I remember speaking to the other Man U guys I know, and they all say Elanga's potential is still huge. I still feel we are having the same rhetoric now about Elanga, saying his potential is still huge. Well, that's 2 years on. Remember, he is still young. He's only 23 off the top of my head. So when do you stop talking about potential and talking about delivery? Technically, he's delivered, though, with 18 GA. All right, but Kev, that's way too generous of you, bro. Much love to you. That will go a long way towards these things, man. I appreciate it, bro. I saw on Loaded Mag that Chelsea would be willing to sell Mudweki for 60. I would take him in a heartbeat. I just think he's a bit of a pace merchant. And I actually think Mudweki, for me, he looks better on the left in the few games towards the end of the season that he has played. All right, let's move on to the article, right? Because we're just gonna. You guys are too distracting. Okay, so this is in the Mirror. So take from it what you want, right? What they're saying is Elanga reveals Newcastle phone call as ex-Man United star emerges as 50 million target. That should be the title of my next video. It's like Newcastle have made the phone call. My God. Oh, that hay fever medicine is heavenly. Just a quick random question, totally unrelated. If you suffer from hay fever, just put a H in the chat, man. Like, big up to my fellow hay fever sufferers. It's been horrible for me today of hay fever. It really has. Yeah, by the way, Dominguez has put a post out on Instagram. Not Dominguez, sorry. You reminded me about Nico Williams with his injury, saying that he's recovering and trying to look forward to preseason. So that's a good sign. Yes, my fellow hay fever sufferers. Shout out to all of you. I hate it. If you don't have hay fever, you will never understand the pain of hay fever. It is the worst thing. What do you mean you used to have it, bro? How did you get rid of it? I've had it since I was 6, man. Oh, man, I hate it. I've had it. The only time where hay fever doesn't affect me is like, say, if I very rarely have gone on holiday, and you're near the seaside. Hay fever is good. As in the hay fever is good in terms of its control of itself. Anyway, so this clickbait title, right? For those of you who haven't seen this article, I just want to ask you one thing. Who do you think called him from Newcastle? If you just read that title, you got asthma as well. My brother's got asthma. Luckily, I haven't got it. But yeah, if you saw that title, who are you thinking he has spoken to from Newcastle? I mean, you got to respect the Mirror with that title. Evening, Greg. Hope you're well. You evolved past hay fever. How? I like you saying Isak. H only seems to be things like, yeah, in the UK, it's horrible, isn't it, Steve? It's hard. It's the pollen's nasty. All right, you lot are quite smart. You lot are quite smart. I'll put poison soup, bro. Apart from you, man, you fell straight into the mirror's trap there. Straight into. He is mates with him as well. He is. You're right. He is mates with him, Jay. Okay, bro. You're the Geordie. You're the resident Geordie. Wrong Swede. Wrong Swede. Okay, so lot of you saying Isak. He spoke to Pete, and Pete was like, Elanga, I do think you're all right, mate, but I think you're 35 mil. How about you join? Could you imagine Pete doing it? It'd be like, yo, Elanga, I don't rate you as highly as people rate you. Therefore, I would love for you to join us, but I only want to pay nearly half what I think you think you're worth. But we will look after you. We will look after you. I don't know nothing about Newcastle. Fair play. If of course I would. I fell into the trap. Yeah. So it's a good trap. It's a good trap. Okay. So here's who he spoke to, right? Anthony Elanga admitted he received a phone call from Newcastle United striker Alexander Isak, but joked it was concerning his errant shooting on international duty. Now, by the way, Elanga missed about 3 or 4 sitters in that game, right? That's just been the Forest bug for me this season. Like, Elanga's probably been, after Wood, probably the most clinical finisher, and even he's missed quite a few. It goes on to say the Forest winger had been linked with interest from the Magpies ahead of Sweden's match against Hungary. Swedes came away with 2-0 victory, blah, 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 as Elanga put a starring performance but failed to get on the score sheet. Blah, 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 blah. They won, right? Elanga scored 6 goals and provided 11 assists. Blah, 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 blah. So then it just goes on. It's pretty much a rehash. Newcastle is said to have inquired over a deal for Elanga, who has 3 years remaining on his contract with Forest. Last summer saw the Premier League 5th place side make a late 35 mil bid for the Swede, but never came close to making a deal. Okay, that's a new number to the other numbers that have been going on. And Eddie Howe appears keen to rest the Midlands. Side's resolve once again, with Newcastle able to offer Champions League football. However, it was reported it would take a figure greater than 50 million to succeed. Okay, so that's what they've said about it. So a couple of things for me on that. Firstly, he's got 3 years left on his contract, and I think Forest probably have a +1, right? There's absolutely no rush whatsoever for Forest to get this deal over the line. Zil nil point. Do I rate Elanga? Look, the way I would describe my feelings towards Elanga is I rate him more now than I did this time last year. I do think he's had a decent season. He's had very good GA. I think there's more to come out of him. I do, okay? I just wish he wouldn't cut in so many times. So that's one thing. The other thing is that price they're quoting is the first time I've heard anyone say 35 mil for Elanga. I thought it was 40. Some Newcastle people reported it as 50. The third thing to say is excess of 50 million. That's the bit I agree with. Because, again, I don't think he's a £50 million player. But the market base rate, the floor, if you like, for a right winger who has Premier League experience, who is scoring goals and getting assists, is 50 million minimum. Okay. Eddie Howe will improve Elanga so much, in my opinion, if we got him, says Soph. He would work really well in your system, more so than Forest. And again, I was speaking to Pete about this because Pete asked me, like, what do I think is good about Elanga? What do I think is bad about him? I said about the purple patches. I said his finishing can be decent when he's in that purple patch form. And obviously his pace is lightning. I said what frustrates me about Elanga is he is faster than pretty much 99.9% of fullbacks in the Premier League. And he always tries to cut inside. I would like to see him burn him out on the outside and then square the ball in for a tap in for Wood or MGW or whoever's coming in, right? What Pete said is that they would prefer a cutter inner rather than a cutter outer, right? Because of their fullbacks coming through. They got obviously Hall and Livramento, etc. And that would suit Newcastle's style to have Elanga cutting in. So I get what Soph's saying there. But I don't think the style of football will suit him better there, okay? Because the main reason being is Newcastle play a lot deeper into opposition's half than Forest do. Elanga, for me, is better when he has grass to run in, if that makes sense. Big up to Kev. Thank you so much, Kev, with the £5 super sticker. I don't know why it's come up in this weird black font, bro, but much love to you guys. Give a few hearts on that from the legend that is Kev. Okay, so here's what I think is going to happen with Elanga. Okay, and I've got no ITK on this one, to be honest, mainly because I've not been around too much these last couple of days, right? But we're back now. I think, well, I know he doesn't want to leave. I know he's very happy with his kind of the three musketeers, in it? Him, Hudson-Odoi, and Ola Aina. They're just mates on the pitch, full mates off the pitch. I think this is similar to a Morgan Gibbs-White situation where the player isn't seeking a move, but if an offer comes in that's too good to be true, as the saying goes, then potentially you will see Forest say yes to the offer and give permission for Newcastle to speak to him. Now, one thing I will add, because just to clear this up, it is technically still illegal to approach a player before you've had permission from the club to speak to that player, right? So that's black and white. Illegal approaches are not allowed, but everyone just does them now. So this is the thing. A lot of teams, for example, if you look at who's the recent transfer, Mbumo from Brentford, right? He's come out and said that the reports have said he's rejected Arsenal, Spurs, and he wants Man United, right? Since that report came out, I think it was Ornstein that dropped it. Man U then went to Brentford to start to negotiate for his price, right? Normally, legally, what happens is how Forest did it with Botafogo. So we went to John Textor and Marinakis said, right, I want Igor Jesus, I want Jair, and I want Cuiabano. Those are the three I want. Here's the package, here's the price, blah, blah, blah. And then they spoke to Igor Jesus. Now, they did that in January. They agreed a fee in January with Botafogo, then spoke to the player. Forest is still doing this the legal way. And this isn't the first time. Let's not forget, in the summer, Jimenez was the same thing, where Forest pretty much agreed a price. Where was he at? Feyenoord, wasn't it? With them. And then they spoke to the player and he rejected. And then the same again with Rumours, where they agreed a price with Frankfurt and then spoke to the player who rejected. Now, the reason most clubs now do this is because there's no point in doing all the negotiations with the team if the player isn't interested in coming. We're coming on to Vissa as well. Don't worry, right? We're coming on to Vissa. So I think that if Forest do agree a price, they will then say to Eddie Howe and the Geordie lot, all right, we're happy with that price, but he doesn't want to leave. But if you can convince him to leave, then he can go. And what would convince him to leave? It would be a couple of things. One, he'll get Champions League football. Secondly, they'd have to offer him a higher salary. And three, some guarantees to say that he is going to be tied down in that right wing position. Okay? Right. That's plenty enough said on Elanga. Are all three from Botafogo still incoming? At the moment, Darren, the only one I can confirm who is done and signed the contract is Igor Jesus. I will have an update tomorrow on Patreon on Cuiabano. So if you're not on Patreon, you'll find out tomorrow. If not, on the YouTube channel, it'll be later in the week. I've been speaking to a lot of people over in Brazil about it. Okay. So that's Elanga. Now, let's get into some of these rumors, because some of these rumors are quite funny, right? So how are we doing on the likes? We're on 201 likes, right? We got over 700 in here. Please take a second, hit that like button. Make sure you've subscribed as well. I'll even put a little graphic up for you just to subliminally remind you to press it. So go press that like button if you have it. Let's get it to 250 nice and quickly. Okay, so I'm going to go through a list of players that are linked and rumored to be linked. Some of these will be BS. Some of these have legs in them, and some of these won't. Right. So, first one, obviously, Igor Jesus. That's done. It works, isn't it, Nick? It works. Yeah, we're on 229. Go on, keep going, keep going. As Soph says, smash them likes. Smash those likes. So, Igor Jesus, Jair, and Cuiabano, right? So, Igor Jesus' contract signed last Wednesday. Jair, I still don't know about, but I think it's okay. Cuiabano, there's issues going on with that one, which we'll cover off tomorrow. Another one that's being linked is Reinildo, the fullback from Atletico Madrid. He's been linked with Forest. Okay, that one's gone quiet. That one came up probably about a week and a half ago. It wasn't that strongly sourced, so I didn't bring it to you guys yet. But that's a rumor that's been linked. Okay, the other ones that have been linked as rumors is Quansah, the Liverpool centre back. I am 1,000,000% against that. I just don't rate him. I don't rate him. The big one that I think is deadly serious, Soph's just said it there in the chat, Douglas Luiz. I am fully expecting this is the one that Forest are targeting as their marquee signing, okay? Remember, we went after him in January. He came out and said, I only want Man City or I want Man U, right? Neither of those clubs wanted him in January. Man U haven't got Premier League, I wish. They haven't got European football. It's not David Luiz now. It's not David Luiz. You don't rate Quansah either. Quansah's crap, man. Quansah's crap. I think Douglas Luiz is going to be the one that we should hopefully start to see some movement on. And I think he is becoming more convinced about Forest, right? I think it will cost around 30 million, 28 to 30 million, something like that, for that one to get done. And I want him. I think he's absolute quality. He's not old, bro. How old's Douglas Luiz? He's probably like 27 off the top of my head, 28 tops. How old? Someone look him up. I can't bother to look him up. So that's one that I fully expect. Now, some of the other links, Vissa is the one you're all asking me about in the chat. There is some seriously weak rumors about Vlahovic, right? Which, look, this is the speculation fun bit, right? So this isn't nothing sourced or anything like that. These are just things I've seen, right? There's talks about Vlahovic and Milenkovic are proper besties, football friends, right? So I've said to you guys, I've got a feeling on Vlahovic. No source on that. No ITK on that. No nothing on that, right? I've just got a feeling, and because of that relationship with Milenkovic, I could see it happening, right? And he's quite cheap. I think he is going to leave. I think they're only asking like 25 mil for him. I don't think he's world class, right? But he is a good striker. He is a good striker. Bro, he is. You're talking about Douglas Luiz. Douglas Luiz is quality. He's quality. Yeah, there you go. He's 27. He ain't old then. He ain't old. The other one who would be a similar player to him, for me, would be Ruben Neves. I think we spoke about him about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I would love Ruben Neves in our team. He would be quality. How can you say 25 mil isn't cheap for Vlahovic, bro? It's a striker position, right? From a kind of serial goal scorer who's renowned for goal scoring, who is a good player. He is a good player. I'm just saying he's not like, he wouldn't be in my fantasy 11. You know what I'm saying? So there's that one. Now, the one that's probably more on the money is going to be this Vissa one, which you're all asking me about. So on Vissa, there is potential, and Leslie's asking here, there is potential that he will leave, and Forest will definitely chase again. Neves would probably want top dollar. It depends how long he's been in Saudi for. If he's been in there for 2 years, I think he then gets his money tax free. So most Saudi people go Saudi will stay at least 2 years because of that tax stuff. Yeah, exactly, man. They paid bare bucks for him, didn't they? Bare bucks. But anyway, let's just talk about Vissa, right? Now, what I'll say about Vissa is he's a goal scorer. He's doing it in the Premier League. He's doing it for what I consider a championship club in Brentford. Vissa will, I think, be looking to move this summer because if Thomas the Frank engine, goes to Spurs, which is expected next week, you got an Mbeumo or Mbumo, however you say it, he's probably going to United. There are rumours out in the last couple of days that Thomas Frank has told Daniel Levy to take him with him to Spurs. Is it 3 years? Well, not for me because I got Arab heritage, but there. So that would basically leave Thomas Frank gone. You got Mbeumo gone for probably 60 million, and then you got Vissa, who Forest are known that they will be chasing after him this summer. So this one, Nuno's a huge fan of him, right? Nuno will go in or will request us to go for Vissa. Vissa, he's not old. I think he's 28 off the top of my head, maybe turning 29. Sava just said Frank. Sava's high though, bro. Like Sava's been high since the moment they announced. What's his face? Ange leaving. Guys, yeah. YRN in the chat. Would you take Vlachodimos back for 40 million? Andy asking for a friend there. So anyway, so look, the problem with Vissa is a few things. I think Vissa will take longer to do. Now watch him come sign for us tomorrow for a couple of reasons, right? At the moment, the priority for Brentford will be to secure a new manager. Let's assume Thomas the Frank engine goes to Spurs, right? So that will be number one. Now, the talks for them is that I think I heard, what's his name from Ipswich? Kieran Knightley there, right? He's probably going to be the one shortlisted for the Brentford job. Now, once Frank's gone, once Mbeumo goes, that really leaves Vissa there in a sinking ship. Now, I predicted Brentford would get relegated this season. All I know is I'm a year ahead of my, I'm that good that I can predict 2 years in advance. So I think with the team getting weakened so badly, Vissa will not want to stay either. Brentford will sell because they will believe in their recruitment strategy. And to be fair, as much as I don't like them because they're just a pointless club, you gotta give them the fact that they have been able to source good players, unheard of players before, right? Now, they were talking about 40 mil for him in January. Forest were put a bid in for, I think it was 21 mil plus 5, something like that. I think that probably will be in and around the ballpark. Because if all these players and managers are going and Vissa shows an indication that he wants to leave, and Brentford have got no European football, shock horror, they have no trophies ever in their trophy cabinet, shock horror, and they've depleted their squad that badly, I think Vissa will force the move. Now, it won't just be Forest in for him. That's the thing. Forest are the most keen on him, but there will be others interested in him because he's versatile. Let's not forget, he can play on the up front, he can play right wing, he can even play a bit left wing. So that's what will happen with him. Now, things won't move in the next week. Now, I heard that Brentford have closed down for the weekend. That's why there's been no movement on this in Brian Mbeumo's situation. I expect there to be some movement probably towards Manchester United for him next week. Then they get their new manager in. Then after that, the manager will have to assess and probably talk to Vissa, who's going to tell him he wants to leave, blah, blah, blah. So I don't think Vissa comes in, definitely not in this mini transfer window, sometime in the next one when it reopens. When is it? After the Club World Cup or in 10 days' time. So Vissa, I still think is a serious one. That we will see, but I think we will have competition for him, if that makes sense, okay? So that's where we are with Vissa. Now, a couple of other interesting ones before we talk about some players going out. Emmanuel Mega. Oh, one more thing on Vissa. My only apprehension on Vissa is that he will go to AFCON this year as well. And that worries me. Guirassy is quality, but no one's talking about him at the moment. No one's talking about him. So Emmanuel Megha, the guy at Stuttgart, bit of a bagsman. I like him. There's some very weak rumours about him coming to Forest, or Forest being interested in him. It's 18th of June. Thank you, Darren. So keep an eye out on that one. Again, I got no sources on that one. So I can't tell you how true or not true those reports are. But again, this is the transfer rumor section of it. This is the let's get excited about some players who have just been, I don't know, probably someone like Owens put a tweet out with his 2 followers and it caught a little hit. I'm joking. So keep an eye out on that one. I'll let you know if anything develops there. We got here. So in the poll, would you prefer a new striker? Who would you prefer as your new striker at Forest? 52% of you want Visser. 28% of you want Vlahovic. 18% want neither. Interesting. Okay. So the one that I still haven't caught up with is Danilo. So Danilo is a weird one at the moment. Fraser, big up to you for the 17 months. Now, just to bring you up to speed with the Danilo stuff, right? So Joe Bellingham's gone to Dortmund. He's gone to Dortmund, I'm pretty sure. For the record, I'm gutted you guys didn't get Champions League. Yeah, same as. Gutted. Bottled it. Vlahovic has over 300k per week, so he's a no-go. Bro, don't worry about the 300k and stuff like that, right? Like, if sometimes players, especially as we're coming up to, it'll be a World Cup year, won't it? When is this is the thing a lot of you are missing. So yeah, we're coming up to a World Cup year. Okay, this is where salaries start to not matter. Okay, because players want desperately to play in the World Cup. And for them to play in the World Cup, they have to be getting regular football. So if Vlahovic, as an example, is not starting regularly for Juve or whatever, he will need to move to try and secure his position in the team, right? So you will see some movements there as well. Yeah, Jonathan David is pretty much done with Napoli. Juve had a look at him as well. There was a tiny link with him to Forest. I would have taken him. I like that player a lot. I like him a lot. What was I just about to talk about? Yeah, there is one with a Norwich player. I will say I don't even want to talk about it because I don't like the idea of us right now being linked to championship players. I don't care how good or crap they are. Like, we've got to... I'm diverting off the Danilo thing, but just before I do, I kind of do agree with what Ant was saying on Grumpy Old Reds. Not to his kind of depression level of it, right? But when you think about it, this time last year, we were linked with some tasty names, right? We had Jimenez, heavily linked with Forest. We had Marmoush being heavily linked with Forest. There's one or two others as well. Proper names, man. Proper names that were making names for themselves. Right now, we're getting some Brazilian dudes. Igor Jesus. Okay, I get it. He's meant to be, the second coming. No pun intended. But I'm not going to lie to you. I want some meaty names. Meaty names. Yeah, I get that, Colors. There've been good players that come out in Championship. I'm not saying there hasn't. But I want the marquee name, man. That's what I'm waiting for. Now, I think they're going to push Douglas Luiz as that. I don't know if I'm ready to commit to that. I like Boniface as well, Evan. I don't even know if there's any talks on him at all with anyone. Okay, so what was it? Oh, Danilo. Okay, so Danilo, this one I don't think will happen until the Brazilian trio or duo, whatever it ends up being, or Uno, move to Forest. You're falling into the crypto and ant trap. Want names? We have succeeded because we found diamonds in the rough. I hear that, man. I'm not against diamonds coming out of the rough, right? But it's like, let me tell you this. Right? Sometimes I do know a lot of the players that we do get linked with, or if I don't know about them, I know someone from that team who can tell me about them, right? So I've always got to think about from the perspective of you guys when we do the video, like how much will you guys know about that player? Big up Georgius with the 22 months, 2 months away from the 2-year anniversary. So when there's a player linked, for example, when Igor Jesus was relinked to Forest, when we did the video explaining him to you guys, we had to, I made the assumption of, okay, assume everyone's forgot about January. No one's seen him since January and do that. Do you get me? But when it's someone we're linked with Visa, I can make the assumption that the familiarity level with that player is going to be a slightly higher floor, if that makes sense, right? So that's like, so I got to play about it. And then sometimes you worry, okay, have I gone too low with the understanding of the player because everyone already knows about them? Anyway, it's that thing. Name me a marquee signing we've actually made, and then name me one who's actually done well with us. Sangare. I thank you. I thank you. What about Neymar? Neymar's back in Brazil, bro. He got sent off the other day. Lingard is not a marquee signing. I got slated for saying how crap he was, but anyway, that's a whole other story. It's a whole other story. All right, I'll give you a marquee signing. What's his face? Navas? Felipe? Gibbs-White? Gibbs-White is a definite shout. He was marquee because of the price tag. It's a no-brainer to sell Anderson. We're not going to sell Anderson. Ronaldo just good. Are you not watching this freaking Nations League thing? There you go. Chris Wood and Shelby, mate. Chris Wood. Sangare was a marquee signing, bro. 100% a marquee signing. I doubt we sign another African player of AFCON. We're going to go for Visa, bro, and he will be at AFCON. Now, I believe AFCON comes a bit early. I think it's end of December. Someone correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. So I don't know if that impacts us more or less. I'm not sure. It comes, Gal, you just worry about getting a striker, bro. Yeah. You worry about that fraud Arteta doing some business up front for you guys. And stop trying to freaking glaze up Sesko like he's better than Gyökeres. Like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Like, go make a signing. I think that's going to be the marquee. Now, you got to understand, Josh, when we're talking marquee signing, we're not going to go and sign freaking Yamal. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to go sign Yamal. Reece Nelson, nah, I'm good. Ant would take him there. Like, look, this would be a marquee signing, and I would be against it. It would be Forest going for Trashford, right? Not all marquee signings are good. So don't get me wrong. So if Forest get linked with Trashford, I will lose my crap, right? I will literally lose my crap. So none of you come at me and say, oh, but you said you wanted a marquee signing or what have you. No, there are levels of marquee signings, okay? Trashford is a marquee signing for his name and his social media accounts. He's just Lingard 2.0, right? Well, give us, you want a name of a marquee signing? All right, Gyökeres. That marquee enough for you? That marquee enough? Chris, I would not take Jamie Vardy, man. I would not take Jamie Vardy. Keep Elanga, I don't want him, says Craig. Praying we don't sign him. Solanke marquee, yeah, well for Rob, he would be doing backflips. Matt Sells was not marquee, bro. Matt Sells is not marquee. Madweki is not marquee. Look, marquee also has to mean you got a player that you shouldn't have got, right? So it'd be someone like AFCON's 21st of December. I thought it was in December. Cheers, Matt. So that's was that earlier than last time? I feel like last time they went, it was like a January one. Vlahovic is a marquee signing. Vlahovic would 100% be a marquee signing. I would say that Douglas Luiz would class as a marquee signing as well. Yeah, Collymore, when we bought him, I wouldn't have said he was a marquee signing. It was from Southend, wasn't it? I see Ronaldo mugged off the poison dwarf Cucurella to score the equal. Ronaldo scored again, did he? Trent Alexander-Arnold to Real's a marquee signing. Yeah, but that's free. That's free. Bentner, man. Oh, my God. Remember his boxer shorts and all that stuff. If we're talking... That's... You know what? I could see it. I'm just saying I could see it. I could see it. Castle probably clipped me up on this one. But I could see it. I could see it. If no one else goes in for him, Marinakis puts a deal on the table he can't refuse. Boom. In he comes. In he comes. A gal saying Gerard Bowen. Yo, he would be a marquee signing for you. For you, bro. He would improve your team. Yes, that is the marquee signing. Do you know what? When we signed Brian Roy, I remember thinking, wow, the Brian Roy, the guy that plays for Holland or Netherlands. I never know which one. I think Holland is a part of Netherlands, like a district, isn't it, or something? I don't know. Brian Roy was 100% my first memory of a marquee signing, man. He was so good, man. Favorite player of all time. Marquee signing there as well. Marquee signing. How much did we pay for him? Was it about 4 mil? Was it about 4 mil for Pierre Van Hooijdonk, man? What a player. I don't care if you lot come at me saying, oh, he went on strike. I loved him, man. I loved him. And as a kid, I was on his side. We should never have got rid of Campbell. Ever. Ever. Yeah, Frank's story was good, man. It was good. It's crazy how deals were done back then. Was it 4.5? Yeah, it's about 4. I mean, could you imagine now? How much would Van Hooijdonk be worth in this day and age, man? Those free kicks are just unreal. Holland is a religion in the Netherlands, is it? I don't know that. Bro, lefty, bro. No, come on, man. No, don't. Ganacho, bro. Ganacho. Nah, come on, lefty, bro. Man. Yeah. All that house building is taking its toll up here on you. It's taking its toll up here on you. Okay. Did we do the Danilo thing? This is why lives are weird, man. Like on the videos, boom, 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 I can get the info. Did I say about Danilo or not? I can't remember now. Oh, region. All right. So I was right. It's the district then. Big Pierre Van Hooijdonk fan, and yeah. I don't know why I read that as religion, man. I didn't do Danilo. All right. So Danilo. Oh yeah, Ian Wright, man. Ian Wright. Do you know what? I always do say that. I'll like pop quiz. Name the 2 icons in FIFA that played for Forest. He did write religion. Thank you, Josh. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I did read properly. Harry Arter, no, not an icon, man. I'll tell you what, Harry Arter became an icon in my... I'm going to admit this publicly. I respect what he did. I mean, he's not a Forest fan, is he, right? The amount of money and recontract signings he got, an extension this and extension that, for doing nothing is crazy. Wolfie isn't the sporting director, you know. I would not be a sporting director. My role would be manager. If Forest made me manager tomorrow, I guarantee us Champions League. And I guarantee us the 3rd star the following. It may take me 2 years on the 3rd star, but within 3 years, 3rd star's there. 3rd star's there. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, Rasmus Højlund would be a good signing, says Charlie. No, Charlie. No. Charlie, you know me. I allow every opinion on this channel, right? We don't filter anything, apart from if it crosses, you know, the lines that can't be crossed. But I can't allow that one. I can't allow that one. Any Forest fan who thinks Rasmus Højlund would be good at Forest, I seriously worry about what you've seen of Rasmus Højlund to give you that impression. Even when he was at Atalanta, I thought he was crap. That's the thing, just like when you've had Ant on the show, right? I mean, the bar's pretty low, you get me? But my God, man. My God. That's worse than Lefty's Garnacho, man. Like, what are you lot doing? Get out of United's back garden, man. What are you shopping in there? They finished 15th in the league. They lost to Spurs in the final. They lost to Spurs 4 times. We took 6 points clean off them. Why would you want any of their players? I mean, I'd take Cunha. Why don't you guys take Rashford? Because 1, he supports Man U. 2, he's played for Man U. 3, he's got a big nose. He's got a big nose. And 4, he's overrated. However, Adeyemi I do take. I like him. Rasmus wouldn't make it as a ball boy at the City ground. Exactly, man. Could you imagine him throwing the ball to a player? He'd miss. Anyway, let's not talk about United. I can't stand that club. Would we get a 3rd star if we won the conference? No, you get like a crescent. But now I'm making that up. Okay. So where did we get to? So on Danilo, 48% of you said that you would let him go. 29% said no, and 22% said not sure. Okay. Now on Danilo, I do potentially expect him to leave because he is part of this Texter Marinakis freaking friendship thing that's going on. However, I don't think he will go until the club officially announces, and Forest announced Igor Jesus is a red, right? Even though he is a red because he signed the contract last Wednesday. On Danilo, Texter is trying to do this weird thing in his contract where he can send him or loan him out to a Brazilian club, and that Brazilian club is Botafogo. Some weird exclusive thing or something or other, or he can sell him on to them. Danilo doesn't want that because he says if he goes back to Brazil, he would only go back to, what's their face? The green team, Palmeiras, where obviously we got him from. So that's hinged it. Now, there's been no real movement on the situation from there. The expectation is, shout out to you, David, it's horrible. The expectation is still that Danilo is going to leave because the fee has been agreed with Forest. Danilo was not against the move to Lyon. He's not against going there. He's against this additional clause to Botafogo. Now, could that collapse the whole deal? Because basically what I think Texter is doing is a couple of things. He said that, what was I going to say? Texter, so the deal works out that he's sorting Botafogo technically. It's like a long-term deal of how he sorts Botafogo out. Now, the thing that will collapse this is Lyon's financial situation. Lyon are up again. Texter in particular is up against the French league, I think on the 24th of June, if memory serves me correct, to prove that their finances are okay, right? So maybe he wants to do this deal before the 24th, before they because they could put a transfer ban and an embargo on Lyon after that. I'm pretty sure, someone double check. I'm pretty sure it's the 20th. Matt, double check it. I'm pretty sure it's the 24th of June. So that's a significant date because if they come out, because they did have an embargo put on against them because they were $2,000 in debt on late transfer fees. And until they paid that $2,000, they then weren't able to make transfers, but they paid it and then the ban got lifted, right? I mean, when you're talking $2,000 in football, you're literally talking about a copper that you've dropped, down the back of the sofa thing. So keep an eye on that date, the 24th. We'll let you know on that. And some of you are asking, well, what about the Palace situation? The Palace situation is we are now waiting for UEFA to make that final decision on it, okay? Now, the only way Texter gets out without UEFA intervention or help or saying no to it is that he sells his shares and he's like, I'm no longer part of Palace. So I haven't seen or heard anything new on it. I'll tell you now, I will hear about it quickly because Rich is starting to worry. And me and Rich have been speaking about it. So as soon as he hears that, I'll let you know. However, there are reports to suggest that Marinakis feels that Forest deserved the Europa League spot because of what's happened to Palace and Textor. And therefore, that makes me think that Marinakis will argue this if they push it into Palace's favour. Now, the general consensus from, people who have seen this happen before is that probably they sort Palace out, okay? I personally don't feel they should, and they should hold the standards up, because my opinion is if they do it for Palace, then the rules become just silly. Just silly. It is the 24th of June. I thought so. Cheers, Matt. So that's the thing with it. I think if they leave Palace in, Marinakis will kick off. And maybe Nick DeMarco gets another call. So that's where we are with the Palace stuff. Any other rumors going around? Anything you guys have heard of? The Juve one. The Juve one. One second, guys. Rules are rules. I agree. I do agree. I think it's harsh, but the rules are rules. Okay. I was going to tell you, did we talk about the Juve dude? The rumor on the Juve dude? Let me look at my notes. Who have we covered off? No, we haven't. We haven't, have we? Nico Gonzalez, or Nicolas Gonzalez, but known as Nico Gonzalez. No, okay. So this guy is at Juventus. He's basically a right winger who's kind of been played out of position in a few games this season out of 10, right? But his position is on the right-hand side, very left-footed, decent player, 27 years old. Now, what's happened with him? He was on loan to Juventus from Fiorentina. I think it's about 8 million loan fee off the top of my head. But they had an obligation to buy him for about 28 million euros, something like that. I don't know. Matt will confirm. Matt's good with these numbers, right? So he's officially become a Juve player, okay? Now, there are rumors knocking around that Forest are interested in him. The source on this, I think, is rubbish. I actually don't rate this guy at all. He's 27 years old. Where I think he's decent is he passes the ball forward, gets into good attacking positions, and can come up with a few goals. And you're right, Fiorentina did love him. Who just said that in the comments? Josh said that, right? My issue with him, his passing is woeful. His crosses are woeful. And I don't think he's that good, if I'm being honest with you. And I don't know how many games he played for Juve last season. He did get a few goals, though. He's like one of those players. I'd say he's like a crapper version of Elanga. He's not as quick. He pops up with goals. And he doesn't excite me at all. Now, I don't actually believe the rumors on this one. To me, it just doesn't ring true. That this would be the type of profile Forest are looking on. He played 26 games and got 3 goals with Juve last season. So, yeah, 27 doesn't really fit the profile Forest are looking at for me. So that's already a red flag on it. Price tag-wise, I think I've seen he's worth about 30-odd million. Now, remember, Juve have just paid 8 million euros plus 28 mil on him as well. So, again, I'm not that convinced on his price tag. I wouldn't be that interested in him, if I'm being honest with you. And I don't believe it was at 33. So it would have been 28 million pounds then. So I don't believe these rumors, and the source it came from, I don't even know who they are. So that's the rumors going around. Would I take him at Forest? No, he's anywhere near the top of my list at all. Haaland's on loan. City don't use him properly. Bring him home, man. The club of his father and all that, isn't it? When will work on City ground improvements begin? I ain't heard nothing on the City ground, but I know a guy who might know, so I'm waiting for an update from him. I haven't heard nothing on it though. The Man City 115 charges the Palace European BS is convenient for the Premier League and UEFA to literally move the effing goalpost. Yeah, when it screws Forest, they do that, don't they? You can buy the new kit online from China. Got my lad the home kit, DHgate, the site. Bro, like, is that kit even going to be right? I don't even think that's the right one. Right. And secondly, I'm not even sure. Does the betting sponsor ban come into next season? I saw that kit and it had still the sponsor on there. Yeah, big up to you, Estelle. See you soon. Okay, let's leave it there because I'm jumping over onto Husam's channel at 10 o'clock. I think we've pretty much covered everything, guys, apart from you lot not hitting that like button. We're on 299 likes, right? So if one of you could hit that like button, it would be much, much appreciated. But when does the sponsor? Is it next season then? Wait, can anyone remember? I can't keep up. I think it was 2 years when it was announced. It must be this season coming then, isn't it? Is it or isn't it? One sec. 1 second. All right, I need you guys to do me a favor because this is really going to bug him. Really going to bug him. Every time, because like Hussein got really offended with me, right? Because I said, I call them Liverpool. Yeah, he doesn't like that, even though it's true. Every time there's an article that he can find from someone who's tweeted something with like 2 followers, he sends it to me and says, "Are you going to say Liverpool? Look, you rejected City." I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. So I'm going live on his channel. I'm over on Don Husam's channel. I'll redirect this over to there. So we'll be live in about 15 minutes. Do me a favor. Once this sends you there, write in his chat, Liverpool, right? It winds him up so much and I love it, and I absolutely love it. Okay, so this was fun. I thought it'd be nice to go through all the rumors and the transfer gossip rather than talking to you about like yeah, exactly like that, Evan. But just wait till I redirect you. All right, guys, make sure you've hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed. Massive shout out to you guys. This is fun. We're gonna do this more regularly. Little catch-ups and chats about it. Big up to Curtis again for the $200, my guy. Much love to you. Big up to Kev as well for the £100. And big up to everyone who donated tonight. Dino, Kev Straw, Kev again with super chat. Wes as well with the £2 earlier on. Fraser with the 17, Bill with the 30 months, and Georgius as well with 22. Love you all. We will see you on the video tomorrow, hopefully with a better background. And I'll be live in about 15 minutes. See you then. Come on, you Reds.